Hello everyone and welcome back to Rayman Origins. It's certainly taken quite a long time to get this far, but it's finally time we jumped into the portal and entered Moody Clouds. And I've picked up Rayman from the snoring tree because of course we're gonna need our slap-happy hero to finish the job. Here we go, buckle up. Wow, that was fast. Oh hey, it's the magician. He should have useful advice. Pretty sure it isn't. Look here, you're not being helpful at all. That's the worst pep talk I've ever had. If you're gonna be like that, just stay behind and pout. I'm gonna go and save the day like a hero should. Stupid old pointless, worn out, shabby beanie. Moody Clouds kicks off with a flying stage. I'm not gonna complain. Just gonna say, it's one of the hardest we've seen so far. And I don't mean that just in a lump collecting sense, I mean genuinely difficult, not to get hit, not to take damage, not dying sort of way. You'll notice that the bombs are now more difficult to deal with. Upon exploding, they fire a 5-way shot. That's pretty difficult to avoid, especially when there are several of them on the screen. The worst part is, you're gonna have to take out some of them if you want to accumulate enough lumps for the medal. But at the same time, you also want to take out these small mecha flies, because they drop the biggest batches of lumps. So it becomes a constant balancing act of getting rid of some of the bombs, getting rid of all the enemy batches, while also trying to avoid taking damage from all possible sources. At first I thought I'll just take out all the bombs, I'll just mash the fire button like a madman, but that really didn't pan out, and I ended up getting killed most of the time. So I figured, why not take out the solitary bombs in areas like this, where there aren't 10,000 things trying to kill you. And that seems to work pretty well. Well, there goes the airship. Good riddance. Another new enemy type, the big mecha fly. They're the mechanized version of the big flies we saw all the way back in the first flying stage, Hi-Ho Mosquito. What sets them apart is the ability to shoot fireballs. And in order to deal damage to them, you have to be in their line of fire, which makes them slightly annoying to deal with. A change of scenery, huh? Looks like we're inside some sort of a structure. Still gotta deal with electricity, though. The shining lightning bolts over here only work in pairs, so take one out and they'll lose the ability to generate electricity. Oh hey great, bring on the red missiles, it's not like there was a whole bunch of stuff trying to kill me here already. Well, that looks ominous. I'm guessing we're gonna have to go in there next. We're in for a treat. My thoughts about riding the storm fluctuate with every playthrough. On my first time, when I played this on the PS3, I grew to hate this level on account of having to revisit it several times to get the medal. But looking back, it's not all that bad. It's really well designed, it looks really neat. But I guess it can be something of a hindrance for anyone who wants a casual challenge. On top of Old Smoky, right after riding the storm, huh? Now, I'm well aware that On Top of Old Smoky is a traditional song, and riding the storm is an idiomatic expression meaning avoiding getting harmed. But Old Smoky also happens to be the nickname for the New Jersey State Penitentiary electric chair. While riding the storm is awfully close to riding the lightning. Now I'm pretty sure it's just a coincidence, but I can't help but think it's somehow fitting. As for the level itself, it shouldn't come as a surprise that things are gonna get rough. No more toying around at this stage. We'll take the upper path first. I'm sure those lumps aren't there just for show. You gotta wonder though, what kind of a monster uses lumps as a light source? That's just plain mean. Of course the coin has to be down here. This section really isn't too bad. The lightning always hits in the same spot with the same time interval, so long as you take your time, it's not a big deal at all. Oops. That was reckless. Guess what those guys are called? Really, take 3 guesses. No, not that. Robots, of course robots. What else? What sets them apart from every other enemy is their ability to take infinite abuse from our attacks. So it's nice that there are all these saw blades around. The robots are quite a step up, considering every enemy so far has succumbed to a single attack. That robot can be a real nuisance sometimes. Trying to grab the coin is difficult enough as it is without Mr. Nuts and Bolts over there. No, I left one lump behind. Sorry, old chum, you're on your own. Even more new acquaintances. The mecha fish are the mechanized version of redfish found in the Sea of Serendipity. They don't need water to survive, and they can be something of a nuisance in the screen. But we're given a plethora of punching gloves, so we can just waste them away. Not sure why I went after that power-up. Every bulb has them, and there's barely a shortage of them in here. I missed out on quite a few bulbs coming all the way up here, so let's speed things up a little bit. There's no need to watch all this, it's all rather monotonous. Aside from the coin, maybe. It's a real simple one, too. If you do your jump right, I guess. I don't know how I got hit there. That seriously is not a difficult coin to get at all. Now that the room is cleared, let's go take care of the secret. If you don't have the punching glove power-up, the secret can be slightly difficult. But since we do, we can just keep our distance and take out these robots where they can't reach us. And no, the punching gloves are not enough to take out the robots. You still have to push them into the obstacles. From this point onwards, it becomes a gauntlet of saw blades, electricity, and robots. What's not to like? I think I left something behind. Yup, 5 lumps. 5 shiny precious lumps. Or looms, which is supposedly the right way to pronounce it. I'm gonna leave that coin for later. First though, secret area. This secret here is a straight up carbon copy of one of the secrets in the desert chapters. They even bring in the flies from the desert chapter. It's like they had an extra secret and they just place it over here, way later. I mean, it's not bad or anything, I'm just saying. I'm guessing these lumps are a hint that there's a secret down here, because if it weren't for them, it would be somewhat difficult to find. Now about that coin. I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to grab it, but it always worked for me. There's a pretty tricky coin coming up. You have to position yourself between the saw blades, and I missed it. Well, that's one way to go about it, I guess. Oh dear. This is a pretty hard section, and I don't have a heart either. Let's see. Whew. Nailed it. You can do that in one go if you time it right, but my timing was slightly off, so I was forced to take a little breather there. There was a heart back there, but we hardly need it anymore. That was fun. I could disassemble some more robots that way. Even though Riding the Storm is the first level to the chapter, I always felt that Old Smoky is the definitive stage for Moody Clouds and really sets the tone for the rest of the game. And even though it's a merciless step up in difficulty, I can't begin to hate it for it because of the endless variety of the rooms, the new obstacles and enemies it introduces, and also the way it uses the game mechanics in a fun, imaginative way that we haven't seen before. Oh, and if you thought the devs weren't gonna ramp up the difficulty even more, think again. It's been just fun and games with electricity, saw blades and robots you can't kill, and oh boy did that robot ever get in a bad spot. Can't believe that worked. But yeah, on top of everything else, we now get these nice hydraulic presses too. It's mostly a question of timing to get past them though. Don't want to touch those tubes just yet. They release a coin to the right, and I want to take care of the secret here first. Regarding the ice blocks to the right, to this day I don't know what purpose they serve. You can break them, but there's nothing to the right, so what's the point? The robot placement in this level is just awful. They're always in the worst possible spot where you can't kill them outright, and they always try to stop you from getting what you want. I can't help but think about Super Meat Boy whenever I'm in this room. So many saw blades. I'm not gonna go into secret over there just yet. After you beat a secret, it creates a checkpoint. And before I create it, I want to collect as many of these lumps as possible. Because I hate these lumps, they're the worst. While you're trying to avoid that stupid saw blade, those lumps will slowly hover to the ceiling as if they're taunting you, just barely out of your reach. And just as you're about to grab them, the bubble bursts. And believe me, you're gonna need every single lump you can get in this level. On the positive side of things, this here is one of the more original secrets in the game. If you ask me, they really could have done an entire level with this gimmick. But they didn't. There's a minor panic factor in this room, because the platforms disappear after a short while. But given how it flows pretty nicely if you just keep running, and because there are robots that want to kill you, it goes pretty smoothly if you just don't stop for anything. Okay everybody, please say hello to my least favorite room in the game. That is no exaggeration. You may think it looks nice, and I agree with you, it fits the mood of the level perfectly. But you see all those bulbs that we have to get if we want the medal? We'll have to wait for the cogs to slowly turn in order to get to them. And if you make one tiny mistake anywhere along the way, you have to way too close. If you make one tiny mistake somewhere along the way, you have to restart the room again, and you have to collect all the bulbs again, and wait for the cogs to turn slowly again. I wouldn't sound this bitter if it wasn't for the fact that I've had to redo this room so many times in the past. And even if I've played this game several times, and I should know this room by heart now, I still fall victim to small little mistakes, like here, I almost get crushed. I honestly don't think there's a single room in the game that's killed me as many times as this one. So anyway, you go about your business, collecting these lumps to the best of your ability. You're patient, you're calm, you're collected, you're serene. So you enter the final cog, you start collecting the lumps, and just as you realize there's yet another robot in there, bam! It hits you once, it hits you twice, it throws you down into the lava, and you're down for the count, and you're gonna have to do all that from scratch. However, once you realize he's in there, all it takes is a little bit of timing, and you can return the favor. You know what the worst part about all this is, though? Ever since the beginning of this Let's Play, I've been waiting for this room to show the horrors it entails, and when I finally get here, I just breeze through it. Like it's no big deal. How did that happen? In clearing that room so proficiently, I feel like a failure. And I can't even appreciate the irony of it because it's just too painful to bear. But I think that's enough of that. We're at the final room of the stage. It may look rather menacing with all the saw blades spinning around, but everything's timed so that if you just keep running, it once again syncs properly, and you shouldn't have any trouble if you just casually run through it. Naturally, there are robots in the final room, so it wouldn't be too easy to clear it. Wait a second, did I just kill that robot with my bare hands? Wow, you certainly do learn new stuff every day. I'm not sure if it was the punch glove power-up or something else, but I never knew that was possible until now. For the unprepared, this room is a complete nightmare at first. However, once you realize in which order to take the robots out, it becomes rather trivial, as you may imagine. I may have been slightly harsh with this level, so credit where credit is due. Wasn't Daniel Day-Lewis brilliant in There Will Be Blood? On a serious note, Make No Mistake is by no means a bad level. It's a great follow-up to Old Smoky, in fact. It suffers from the fact you have to spend so much time in just one room, but then again, no one's forcing me to get those pointless medals, so I have no one but myself to blame, really. Whatever the case, that's all the abuse I can take for now, so tune in next time when we enter the reveal, or do something completely different. Until then, so long.